What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to answer some frequently asked questions, and I'm definitely excited about this one.
It's going to be a good one.
It is. My name is Todd. I'm here with my wife and business partner, Jen. What's up, Jen?
Hello.
Welcome to the Hello Hair Pro podcast. Let it play, let it play. All right, so before we start, we want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by our friends at PingPong Design and Marketing. Do you want to love your website again? Are you looking for more clients to fill your chairs? PingPong wants to make the internet a better place with websites and marketing campaigns that inform and convert. That's their mission. PingPong is offering our audience a special discount on any website or digital marketing campaign. So visit the show notes, reach out to Chris, talk to him about your needs.
Take advantage.
Those 3 steps. Reach out to Chris. After you check out the show notes, I went out of order. That's okay. And talk to him about your needs. All right. So PingPong, not just for hair pros, but the entire health, beauty, and fitness industries. On to the show.
Let's do this.
Yeah. So, okay. We've experimented with covering like single topic shows, which is great because you can really dive in deep on that stuff. We played around with some like multi-topic structures, which is cool because you can sort of like scratch the surface on stuff. And we wanted to try sort of a shorter form approach. So we're going to answer some FAQs.
Yeah. We've got a list of some and go through them and call it a day.
Yeah. So I'm excited because, and I want your thoughts on this too, Jen, but I'm excited because I think the majority of people out there are in need of like the very beginning steps, if that makes sense.
Agreed. And I think too much information can be so overwhelming that people freeze.
Yeah.
So this will be a way for them to get some quick little answers.
Exactly.
And hopefully inspire them for some change if that's what they're looking for.
Exactly. So hopefully we can help and you can start to lay the groundwork or the foundation for either your business idea or even your thoughts just to get those organized, right?
Yeah.
So let's jump in. Do you want to start? You
Sure.
Want me to? Okay.
One thing that I get asked often, and it's for one tip, but I mean, obviously you could go super broad. I think any of these questions we could do a whole show on, and we probably have. But a tip for Instagram, and that's a very broad question. So
like one tip to
one
what?
tip for Instagram, how to like make yours. That's what I mean. It's so broad. How to make it better. People ask me, how do I get in front of more people?
Okay.
So for me, I guess I give at least 2 tips, which is like, who's the audience?
We don't have to do a single tip.
Yeah, and people will ask me for one tip, and I'm like, it's not that simple.
Some of the questions I have like a few things to think about.
Yeah, so I start with, who are you trying to attract on your Instagram page? If you listen to the podcast, I look at Instagram or Facebook, whatever your social media is, as a walking business card. So it's something to support you getting out into the community that you're in, but this now is where it can drive people to see your work and what you're about and who are you as a person. So who are you trying to market that social media business card to? And then whoever that person is, and Todd, you've taught me this, a call to action. What do you want them to do when they get on your page? When they're looking and scrolling through your feed, what is the action you're hoping they do? Is it to call the salon and make an appointment? Is it to DM you to... If you're giving out hair tips, to book you for a class, whatever that is, you need to tell people what you want them to do as they're scrolling through your page. And that's how I approach that.
So the call to action thing, I agree with. People need to have a call to action. But I think people get confused about what that call to action needs to be. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need to be book an appointment with me. You could be warming your audience. So you have a following on Instagram. Again, I'm not a guru. I don't want to be a social media guru. I don't care. I mean, I care, obviously. I'm sitting here. But you know what I mean. It's just an expression. People get over it. All right, so you have people that are following you. They're not ready to book an appointment. So what could they do to get one step closer to where you want them to get? Follow me for more hair
tips
tutorials. And whatever. Yeah. Something
That's
like that.
That's what I mean. Whatever you're looking for.
Is super effective, I think. And it's less of a commitment. It could be sign up for my email list where I give you this every month, whatever.
And the call to action to me is so important because they're on your page and you've got them for that second, 2 or 3. And when they come off, if you have a good call to action, they're still thinking about you. They're still thinking about your page. And then they're like, you know what? I should reach out. And without that, it doesn't mean that they won't reach out. It's just not going to be as prevalent in their mind.
Right. Okay. So here's my response to that question. So one tip for Instagram users, not really even a question if you think about it. And this is probably going to throw people off, and I don't mean to, but if you're on Instagram, start looking for the next platform. That's what I can tell you. Mm-hmm. Right? So people are so hesitant to move on from stuff, especially if you've built up a following. If you have, so our followings are pretty small on social media. We have great engagement.
Right.
But they're small followings. If you've built up 10,000, 100,000, a million followers, it's difficult to be like, all right, I'm going to jump ship. And you don't have to jump ship, but what's next?
Right. Innovation is huge. You really need to always be looking ahead.
And be an early adopter.
Right.
I have some apps that I'm playing around with that I think could be impactful. I don't know yet. I haven't figured out how to use them yet. Hopefully soon. But if you think back, like we're not that far removed from things like newspaper ads. Would you take out a newspaper ad right now?
No.
Yeah. How come? What? 20 years ago? 15 years ago?
I don't even open a newspaper.
That's when
I use it for the fire outside. Sorry.
Right. So if you think about that, it's mind blowing. But if you're just getting on Instagram, you're too late.
Right. Use it for fun. Do what you got to do. But figure out what might fit you better in the future. Agreed.
Right. All right. What do we got next? Want me to work from my list?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So here's one. How do I attract more clients? Want to start, or you want me to start?
$1 million question.
Yeah.
Everybody asks. Go for it.
All right. Here's the short answer. Marketing. That's how you get new clients. It's marketing. You need to dial in your marketing plan, and you need to have a strategy.
Ping pong.
So yeah, ping pong for sure. All right. So if you're an individual, say you're a stylist that is a booth renter or an employee stylist or a barber or whatever, you've got to have probably like a minimum of a content strategy, a content marketing strategy. Mm-hmm. Right? What does your content look like? Who are you trying to attract? The things that you said in the last question. Mm-hmm. I think another thing you could do is to guest post, to get on other things. Like, so if you enjoy writing, for example, reach out to some blogs.
Right.
See if you can write for them. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're still not going to have clients? I mean,
right.
They can say no, or they say yes. Yeah, create opportunities for yourself, for sure. So guest post possibilities are endless, like you said. So for owners, you probably need a more robust strategy. So this is where we talk about digital marketing and that stuff, but it needs to be paired with a content creation strategy. So you can't just have like somebody take over your marketing and you still don't know anything about marketing. Right. You have to learn about it as well. So digital marketing paired with that content creation, super effective. It's been amazing for us. And then the last thing I'll say on this is to start building an email list and utilize it to warm potential clients, just like I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. I would start from a stylist perspective. As if you don't know, I still am behind the chair and do hair on a regular basis. And if whatever amount of clients you do have, and if you have 0, then you're going to go to family and friends. If you have some, go to family and friends and the some that you have, and go to the ones, family and friends included, and the clients you do have, that you enjoy the most. You enjoy their time, you enjoy who they are as a person, and ask them to refer people to you. That will help you get people that are like-minded, people that you enjoy doing their hair, and most people will want to support you if they enjoy being around you.
Agreed, 100% with that. I had one more, I think, note here. I forget where I wrote it, but if you're looking for new clients, you want to attract new clients, something that I would tell you to do is focus on the clients you have already and focus on doing the common uncommonly well. So we talk a lot about foundations and things like that. Mm-hmm. Focus on that stuff. Don't try to do all these tricks and things that you think are going to attract people, because it's probably going to do the opposite.
Agreed. Be genuine and authentic, right? We had an educational class the other day, and I went through client consultation, and clear as day was just like, this is the most important part when you have a new or an old client in your chair, is really listening to them and giving them solutions to their problems. And that will honestly keep that client, and they will send other friends to you if they feel like you're taking care of them.
Yes. And I just, I wrote a blog. I don't know if it was for our page or not. I think it might not have been, but so clients that refer, actually this might've been a social media post for Hello Hair Pro. So clients that refer stay longer. Mm-hmm. Clients that pay more than the average ticket price stay longer. Think about stuff like that and start creating again with what you have. I guess that's what really it breaks down to. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have.
And realize it's a long game. It's a marathon.
Long
guys.
game for sure.
You're not going to build overnight. You're not going to go to bed and tomorrow wake up and your book is full. Maybe.
Right.
1%ers.
Yeah.
But that's not how it's actually going to go. So you've really got to focus rather on the negative space on your schedule, focus on the people that are there. How can you build off of that? And you've got to keep yourself in a positive mindset, and you've got to keep at working on your skill set, all of those things, so that you're ready for as you start to slowly build that clientele. It will happen. It just takes time.
For sure. Are you going next? Do you have another one? I have a few on my list.
Mine was, and I think you had it there because we chatted earlier, but what if somebody, I actually know your answer to this.
Okay.
I don't like my current salon. What should I do? I know what your answer was when we were speaking candidly earlier. I don't know what it would be.
All right.
now.
Yeah. Do you want me to start then?
Sure. I know the Todd approach, but.
Step 1, quit. And you're laughing, right? And some people are like, what the fuck? That's not helpful. No, here's what I mean by that, people. If you're not happy where you work, salon or otherwise, that's fine. But the first step is for you to decide that you're leaving.
Yes.
Because I
decide and commit.
Too many people are miserable but stay. Mm-hmm. And they feel hostage. So I don't know what you have going on, but the very first thing is to commit to leaving. You're quitting. So you've quit. Now, I'm not saying like, hey, text your boss and say, hey, I'm done. Unless it's toxic as fuck, and then get out of there, right?
Yeah, we've seen all scenarios. So
yeah,
yes, there are some that we were like, you need to quit right now. And there's some that
we've seen that
might have needed some hard conversations because they didn't like their salon, but they didn't want to leave. And they needed to have some hard convos with their boss to see if it could change.
I don't know where to go from there, really, other than making that first decision. I feel like when you make that first decision, the ball starts rolling, and then you can build on it.
And it opens up your eyes to what's next.
Exactly. So you may have a non-compete. Mm-hmm. That would be something you would need. You probably should just talk to a lawyer. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like we're not advising people through non-competes.
No.
The only advice I give people regarding non-competes is to not sign one. And yeah, you'll be better off. But so if you have a non-compete, that's something you have to deal with. Just talk to a lawyer and handle it. A lot of people I've heard say that non-competes don't really hold up. We've seen them hold up. So
yeah, I've seen them on both sides.
So there is the possibility that it will hold up, or you'll at least in part be responsible for something. So you do need a lawyer. If you don't have a non-compete, just quit, find another salon. I literally saw like 12 posts today just in our area of salons that are like, we're hiring, we're looking for apprentices, we're looking for this, we're looking for that. Everyone's hiring. Mm-hmm. You have your pick. So just make the decision and go from there.
Yeah, I love that. So I have a few things here. I think if you don't like your current salon, I want us,
we're hiring.
Sure. We would be happy to meet with you, but I also want you to do a little self-reflection, because could you be the problem? So a lot of times
we've seen this a handful of times.
In the beginning of my owning my first salon, I one of the things I would almost like kind of look for in someone's resume, because people had resumes then, was like looking for a drama-free environment. And I'm like, you're my people. And then I
Who opens with that language, though?
slowly realized, because it took time, that those people that were, and it's not for everybody. I'm not saying everybody is this person, but 9 times out of 10, that's what I saw. Those that were looking for the drama-free environment was because they were the drama. So they were never going to get out of that environment until they truly grew and changed as a person. So I want you to sort of look at what you're not liking in the salon you're at. Why is it? Are you contributing to it? And what can you do to change? Because if you're going to go and find a salon home, well, bring yourself a new whole self-awareness to that. I also think in the steps to doing that, one thing I would highly recommend is going into the salons, look through their social media, look through websites, all of the things, and go book a service, get a blow dry, and sit in that salon during that blow dry and take into what you see, what you hear. Is it clean? Like, I don't know what it is you're looking for, but does it have all of those offerings? And if it checks those boxes, then I would call and book an interview. But that's a great way to really take in the environment from a back seat and see if it's a good fit for you from what you can see from that perspective.
Yeah, I like that. Going and just checking stuff out to see what other people are up to and feel different vibes. Because I don't know, there are a lot of salons that they're toxic.
A lot of salons are smoke and mirrors. So they look good on one side. It sounds like they do all this, but when you sit in there and you take it in, it's going to be a whole different world. So take the social media presence and bring it into reality by stepping into that environment and really observing it in real time.
Another thing I do want to say, though, is like, sure, there's a lot of toxicity. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah. In the industry, but that doesn't mean there aren't great salons out there for your fit.
For sure.
There might be an amazing salon around the corner that you like heard something about or whatever. Who knows? Agreed. So I think be open-minded and get out there.
The way we run Hello is from lots of different scenarios, from owning businesses prior, salons, gyms, all of these things to arrive at the owners we are able to be today. I could not be this owner a few years ago. I don't think you could be. And we wouldn't be able to lead this team and give these freedoms that we do because we've been able to go through, grow and change and understand what needs to happen in a work environment that we want to be part of.
So side note, real quick, because you brought that up and I don't mean to open a can of worms because this is supposed to be not rapid fire, but just moving.
Enjoy, folks.
I think that there are a lot of people out there jumping on we offer this, we offer this, we offer this.
And don't offer any of it?
Oh, no. Yeah, there's that for sure. I know of specific salons that do that.
Yeah.
No names. But what I was going to say is you might not be ready to offer that stuff. If you can't wrap your mind around it, but you think it's going to attract employees, don't do that. Wrap your fucking mind around it first. Get yourself situated.
And believe in it and walk the walk and 100% be like, I stand behind this.
Right. Don't just be like, you can charge whatever you want. Not without coaching, though. Like, not,
right.
You know what I mean? Or don't be like, whatever your schedule you want to work, that's totally fine with us. Like, 1, you sound desperate. Mm-hmm. 2, how are you going to keep organized?
And you need to be able to support these individuals so that they understand different things that they choose to do within those freedoms, that they're making the right choices so that they understand how that plays out for their schedule, for their career, for what they do. And that's why we coach all the time.
We do a shit ton of coaching. Yeah.
Even when people are doing certain things, we give them those freedoms. We're like, you understand if you do X, Y, and Z, this is what you're looking at long term.
You can still shows.
Yeah, you can still do it. But I want you to understand by making these adjustments or doing these certain things, this is how the outcome's going to play. And they're like, oh,
for sure.
No, that's not what I was trying to do.
Right.
I didn't think so, but that's yours to decide if it is. It's totally cool. I just want you to understand it.
Right. And there are a ton of scenarios. We could do a whole podcast just on that stuff.
Yeah, it's actually really fun.
All right, so next question. I want to open my own salon sometime in the future. Where do I start?
Ooh.
Do you want me to go then? Because you just went, oof.
Yeah. That's a heavy one.
All right, so keeping it quick here, or quicker.
As quick as can be.
As quick as can be when we get off topic. So I would start by learning about business. And I would say, don't wait. Do not wait. So being good at doing hair has almost, in my opinion, and the opinion of probably anybody else that has any clue about business, being good at doing hair has almost zero impact on how effective you'll be as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And
it doesn't mean you can't. It just doesn't.
Oh no, you can.
It doesn't.
It's just a skill.
Those aren't a cause and effect. They don't go hand in hand. I do good hair, I can be an owner, or a good leader.
Yeah. I saw that a ton in the gym world. Yeah. Hey, I'm really good at pull-ups. I'll probably be a great coach. Yeah, sure. Go nuts, buddy.
It.
Yeah,
let me know how that goes.
Go for it. So I would say just learn business, read, study, find a mentor, and this is the last thing I'll say on this until Jen says something that prompts me to say something else. But I would start years before you think you want to open. So if you're like, oh, I'm looking for to open something in like 3 to 5 years, start learning about fucking business now, today. Don't go to bed tonight. Download a book and read it, because you don't have time for you have time, but 3 to 5 years is not a long time to learn a skill. Look at how long it took you to get good at doing hair.
Right.
Years.
Right.
So you think you're just going to open a business and be good at business because you can do hair?
And if you do think that, you should contact me, because I did that, and I can tell you all the struggles and fails that I fell on my face.
We'll do a podcast about that too.
Yeah, I'm happy to share any of that to help people.
We're getting close to that one.
Yeah, I'm almost ready. So I would say I love where Todd's coming from, the business side, and really start to learn the inner workings of it.
Did you know that I can't stand that term? The business side?
Oh,
because
sorry.
people think that that the hair and the business go hand in hand. They don't.
No.
The business is one whole thing on its own, and the hair is one whole thing on its own.
Agreed. Which is why.
And if anybody out there disagrees, I'm going to keep cutting you off. I'm just feeling it today.
All right.
If anybody out there is like, well, if the owner's not in the business, or if the owner doesn't do hair, look at some franchises. Do you think those people are in their businesses running the day-to-day that have 300-400
No, their goal
locations?
Would be to not be, for sure.
Right.
So what I was going to say, the why for that for me is I partnered with you because I don't feel the bandwidth. I don't like to do all the business background. I knew you had that in you, which was great. So if you're like me and you don't have a Todd, then I'm going to say to you, you need to build your circle. Hire your accountant. Figure out what accountant will help you and work with you. Hire a lawyer. Get your network built, because if you don't have like what Todd does to read the books and do all the research and all of that, then you need a really fucking strong network to help you get that business going, and a strong mentor. So those are what I would do, because I'm not Todd. I can't do that stuff. And I knew that, which is why
you just don't want to invest the time in it.
Which is why
anybody can learn a skill.
Hello, I knew where I could walk, and I knew what you could come in and offer for the stuff that just didn't bring me joy. But if you that's what I mean, right?
That's cool.
So if you don't have that, then you need to build that network out to find the people that can do those things you don't want to do, so you can still lead that business and lead it well. That's what I would do.
All right, cool. Do you have another question?
Yes. How do I make the most out of a salon interview? So I'm going into a salon. I don't really, like, they say they offer all of these things, but I don't know what, to do, I guess.
You want me to start?
I can go first on this one.
Okay.
So this is what I would do. This is how I speak to it. When you go into that interview, so what I used to do when I was younger, I would go in and I would be like stars in my eyes. Like, this is the salon I work at. Whatever they tell me, I'm going to take it, and I want that. Don't do that. Figure out
definitely don't do that.
What's most important to you as a stylist or a barber. So if you're like, education is important to me, and moving up, like, I want to get busy and I want to raise my prices, and I really want to be at a point where I'm making this much money a year. Well, then those are the questions you ask. Not do you have education? What does your education program look like?
Yes.
And how does that look like for me? And get it in real time. Like, it's not just me like sitting there and assisting somebody or watching, depending on where you are in your career. But like, what truly is education mean to the person that the salon that you're at, and then what does that mean for me as the person interviewing? And then how do you do raises, increases? How do I get ahead? How do I move my career the fastest way forward? And I can tell you this, as a business owner, if you're coming to me and you're saying you want a fast track and you're willing to offer all the solutions of how you could do that, that is an amazing place to be. That makes you look amazing, that you want to, or you're driven in this career to move ahead. Now, if that's not you, then I would prefer you to come in and be like, listen, I'm worried about X, Y, and Z. I need help with X, Y, and Z. And then again, that owner could tell you, hey, you know what? I can't support that. So you're not wasting your time. You've got to be honest too, and you need to interview them as much as they're interviewing you.
Yes.
It becomes a relationship, because if you go into it together, you're truly trying to form a relationship here. So both parties need to be honest. So if there's a point that's not, you can come back and say, hey, I said I needed more time with that or work on that. You're not helping me, or whatever that looks like. But the honesty should be in the beginning, not trying to present yourself as something you're not.
Right.
And overselling yourself. Like really show up who you are today.
Well, you said earlier that a lot of salons, and we're speaking from experience, so if this isn't you, don't take offense. And if it is you and you take offense, and clean your shit up. But a lot of salons are smoke and mirrors. Mm-hmm. It's look how pretty our space is. Look at this. We're awesome. And then you hear from employees, and none of that stuff is actually happening.
And those are the people.
The education one is interesting. And the reason I'm interested in it is because it's the first thing you brought up. So you said, ask what the education program looks like. So, for example, if that, I'm just riding off of Jen's example, if education is important to you, don't. So I guess where I'm going is learn to converse. Mm-hmm. Don't ask questions that can be answered with a single word.
Right.
So, do you have an education program? Yes.
Right. The next would be, can you explain it to me? Yeah.
So what I would do is say, what does your education program look like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Map me out a picture.
And then probably they're going to, say, we just watch each other, which is another whole podcast topic. We've actually covered it, but
you can watch me all day long and I make it look easy.
Yeah. You're not keeping up. Though.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not going to help you.
Right. And we have done that podcast, but so I guess I would ride off of what you were saying is just interview them back.
Yes. And be confident with that.
For sure. Do you have another one? I have a few over here. All right. This one obviously we get from owners. So I'd like to increase my profit. How can I do that?
Oh, that's a good one. And one that you would speak to.
So
that's why you're my business partner.
Here we are. First thing is you've got to know your numbers.
Yes.
So what are you increasing your profit from? What is your profit now? What is your overhead? What are your fixed costs? What does it cost you to operate your salon per year, month, week, day?
Huge.
I don't
What does it cost you to operate your business?
To open. What does it cost per hour?
Yeah.
Break it down. If your chart, we base our pricing structure at Hello is based on time. Mm-hmm. So we look at what does it cost per hour to open. It's it just makes it easy.
Right. That's why we do it that way. Yes.
So from there, you can go on and reduce your fixed costs where you can, wherever. So you're obviously not going to reduce your
rent.
Lease, your rent. So you could be at the end.
True.
You could downsize.
Yep.
You could find a different neighborhood that is less expensive but close by. Who knows? There are a ton of different.
Right, in that scenario, you could.
Different things. For us, we've gotten rid of retail. Mm-hmm. So that was one thing. And so we have retail. We have some very specific things that we offer in-house, in salon.
That certain services, when clients leave, they need to be having that right away.
Correct.
Right?
And so, without going crazy, but we offer a certain amount of take-home retail, whatever products you want to talk about. The rest comes from affiliate links. So we're still selling people products. We're just not stocking it. Mm-hmm. That's one way. We don't have a front desk.
Way.
So there's what, 40 grand? What would you pay someone for a front desk? I don't even know because we don't have one. So I never had to consider it.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And honestly.
And you probably need multiple people. You don't have one person.
That job becomes a lot of downtime that you're paying someone to sit there. And it is an astronomical figure in your business that would kill your profitability.
Other stuff you might want to look at, and something we're looking at right now, is booking software, right? On and on, on and on. You can go on and on, but know your numbers first, because then you can, you have to have...
It paints the big picture.
Yeah, you have to have a ground zero of what you're working from.
Agreed.
All right, here's one. I love this one. How can I avoid last minute cancellations?
You can't.
Literally what I wrote.
Did you really?
Yeah, so you can't. Look.
You just can't. You can be butthurt and salty, but get over it and figure out how to fill your bucket.
Get your shit together, yeah.
Have a lunch. Go have a coffee. Like, enjoy the outdoors. Like, find a way to put your positive mindset back in your headspace.
Life happens, right? So our approach at Hello is to treat people like they're people.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't have fees. We don't shame clients on social media with passive-aggressive posts. You know what we do? We have conversations.
Yeah.
We have conversations. And if we have repeat,
if you have a habitual person that cancels all the time, then there's a policy that you put in play for them. Blacklist. Or you just are like, you're no longer welcome here.
Blacklist. I blacklist. Yeah. No problem.
You don't have to have a blanket policy for everyone that you only enforce for 1% of your clientele.
Right. Right.
Come on. If you have a cancellation policy, what I would say is you enforce it 100% of the time on 100% of the people. It's a non-negotiable. And if you cannot do that, you need to reevaluate that policy.
I agree.
In my
wholeheartedly.
opinion.
Wholeheartedly.
Which is why we do not have one. And if there's a habitual person,
well, we do have a cancellation policy, and it is to deal with people as they're people, individuals. All right, last one.
Not one shoe fits all. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, okay.
Stop.
One
don't
shoe
even.
fits. Okay, let's move on. All right,
go.
So this one is, I feel like the market is saturated. How can I stand out?
You just were talking about this with me earlier.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier for sure.
You've got some numbers. So for your math geeks out there, you're going to love this.
All right. So first of all, the market's not saturated. I don't care where you're at.
He's got numbers, people. You can't argue this one.
We're going to look at New Hampshire alone. So in just our surrounding 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 towns, there's about 350,000 people.
Wow.
Okay. In the state of New Hampshire, there's like over 1.3 million, and all this stuff's coming from the censuses. It's 2018 or whatever, the last one that I researched, right? So you've got 1.3 million people. You've got, in the same year, 2,770 licensed cosmetologists. So quick math, that's more than 489 people per hair pro. Now we have to factor in certain things. So like we have to factor in some of those people are not going to a cosmetologist, they're going to a barber. So if you're a cosmetologist, you just are shit out of luck if someone wants a barber.
Or their neighbor.
Or their neighbor.
Neighbors cut hair all the time.
Yeah, I'm just talking about license.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Yeah. You also have to factor in some of those people, I would imagine, I don't know when a census starts, but like they're infants or they're people that are not getting fucking great coverage or their roots done.
Or even a haircut. They don't need it yet. Yeah.
So either way, even if you half that number, you're talking about 240 something
per each stylist.
Per person. How many clients do you fucking need? Your problem isn't that the market is saturated. Your problem is that you don't know how to market.
Right. So
as far as what you can do to stand out, I would say, again, it's about breaking it down to do the common uncommonly well. I know it's not sexy, but it's effective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
I don't really. I'm high-fiving in the air here. We don't have video today. There's no other way to say it. It's like perfectly said. It's simple.
We can break it down per state. We can break it down per region. We can break it down per whatever. But I guarantee you that the market is not saturated. You just aren't good at marketing.
Again, it comes back to looking within yourself. Like, what can you do differently? Which is to market yourself, build on your technical skills, consistently posting and getting out in your community and meeting people. Like, shit doesn't happen just because you want it to. Put it out in the universe, but then what are your actions to make it come to life?
Exactly. All right, let's wrap it up.
Cool.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate everyone. What's our call to action today? Get on our email list because we are committed to doing a weekly email.
Yes.
Get on our email list. That's it. Just get on there.
Let's do this.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.